thought this was bold when I predicted it, that Victor Wembanyama would be good. No, I said my prediction for him, and I've made a lot of Wemby predictions, was that he would average 20 plus points, 2.5 blocks, and 1 made 3 per game. That doesn't sound, now it sounds stupid. Joel Embiid, no one's ever done that. Joel Embiid came the closest as a rookie in 2016, 2017. He averaged 2.5 blocks on the money. And I said Wemby would get 1 plus 3, 2.5 plus blocks, and 20 plus points. Joel Embiid only played in 30-something games that year. So I thought it was fairly spicy. You went ahead and came from the top ropes. Are you willing to talk about that?
So this is where I was going anyway, because we've gone too long without some Wemby content. I think when Victor Wembanyama is going to average over 4 blocks per game as a rookie this year. 4.0.
Tony Brothers does not think so.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he continues to pick up, enough fouls to keep his minutes in the low 20s, this will be tough. I still wouldn't rule it out. I just think this ties into the more Wembanyama I watch, the more I think he is one of those players that is going to force us, not force is the wrong word, but like cause us to reevaluate sort of how the game is played and like what's possible on the floor. Because, and you could encapsulate that thought in like a single play from a preseason game where Wembanyama is at the elbow. I think he's got both feet in the paint and he's a little below the foul line. He's guarding Andrew Wiggins, who is on the left wing. And Wembanyama takes the ball, swings to Wiggins. Wiggins loads up for an open shot against literally any other defender on planet Earth. And Wembanyama takes like a step and a half and blocks this shot, this 3-point attempt. I don't know. You've seen the still photo of it probably because it's circulated on social media, but like, I think Wembanyama is getting the ball at like 13 feet off the ground or something, like just like it's absurd. And Wiggins is not a high arc shooter, but he put some arc on this, and Wembanyama is still up there, just palm on the ball, like done. So I think the fact that he's going to get a handful of blocks, every week of that variety, where it's just like he closed out from the restricted area and blocked a corner 3, or he, helps and recovers and goes and gets a turnaround jumper from just like absurd blocks that no one else can get. He's going to get those. And then I think as he figures out, because I think even in his best games, I think his processing speed is really good for where he's at, but he's still going to get better at diagnosing like when to go for shot blocks and when to, how to play the pick and roll if he's going to be involved in some of those. Cause I think offenses are going to have to start trying to get him into the action sometimes just to keep him from floating around and causing so much havoc. So yeah, the 4.0 is like a wild number. Mutombo averaged 4 in 95-96, and Wemby in his first 4 preseason games averaged 4.7 blocks per 36 minutes. So the 36 minutes
did Mutombo play that season?
That I don't know. Probably that was the era of guys are all playing, there are 25 guys playing 40 plus probably. Getting to 36 minutes might be tough, but if you told me Wembanyama is going to average 34 minutes a game, I would feel even better about this. I don't know if I just think he's going to have, this is another one. I'm not going to spoil it. I have some stat padding Wembanyama stuff, but let's just say I looked up what the record for blocks in a game was, and it was 17, I think. And I had to have some thoughts about should I just predict that he's going to set the all-time blocks record in a single game this year? Because how about this? Do you think, nope, I'm not going to step on stat padding. I was about to step on a Wemby stat padding thing.
You don't want to spoil it for the listeners, or you're worried that I'm going to get something correct?
No, I don't want to spoil it. I just think he's going to have a lot of 10 block games in his career, and he's probably going to get some this year.
Wow. 10 block games. I wonder how many of those there've been. That's not a stat I would know offhand throughout NBA history, how many there've been. It's funny. I don't have anything to add other than what you're saying sounds so fucking absurd. And I'm just no, I get it. And I can't even, sometimes I can't, you mentioned how sometimes we can't step out of our NBA silo when we're trying to frame the conversations for wider audiences. I do the same thing where I'm trying to be bold, and I look back and I'm like, 20 plus points, 2.5 plus blocks, and 1 made 3 after seeing how he was used. I just thought he was going to be on ball a lot more. Like he's just going to jack. Like he'll probably finish. What do you want to put the over under on how many threes, like point attempts he's going to average this year? If I set it at 5, are you just going to smash the over at that now?
I think I might. I mean, they said on the broadcast that Popovich has basically said, like, play free, do what you want. And I think his first shot of his career was kind of like a pull-up 3 from the top. So it's just like, clearly he's going to be allowed to explore the space.
Yeah. And I mean, look, he took exactly 5 in 23 minutes of action. So I would hit the over if it's on 5. And my head was like, well, he's going to probably be inefficient. There he goes. He hits 3 of his first 5 3-pointers. I will say that game specifically. I mean, the Mavs are the next team that I wanted to talk about, but they're probably going to be a train wreck defensively. Like those are the shots that they were just going to concede because they're worried about him, what he might do off the dribble. So I couldn't be bold enough. So I'm glad that you took it there. I think it was your prediction was necessary.
Can I ask you this? Because we can't really talk too much about him. Do you have very casual or not at all NBA fans in your life that have asked you, like, what's the deal with this Wembanyama guy? How do you describe him? And I can give you my answer if that hasn't come up for you, but someone's like, oh, who's this? Who's this tall guy I keep hearing about? Like, what is he going to be any good? Have you had those conversations with people?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you say?
I say I've always framed it, and our listeners are probably going to unsubscribe if they hear me say this one more time. I frame it as the summer league conversation where everyone was so concerned after his first game. And I say, I came away having not seen a lot of him before that point, thinking that he's going to be one of the best players of all time. And that was my best way to frame it. And then there's invariably, well, what if he's, not healthy? And that's the question with everybody. And I know you're worried about his lower body and stuff, his size. Kevin Durant has made a top 15 of all time career. He's not as big as Wemby, but he's not like super built. Like he's not girthy is the word that I would use. So I'm not going to worry about the health stuff until if let's say if it ever becomes an issue. And that's I'm curious of what you say, because I feel like you probably have a better rebuke to all this stuff.
No, I asked because I struggle with it because it's hard to, I think I can't help but oversell him basically. And so a lot of times I'll just say like, well, it's difficult to say because there's never, ever been someone like him. And I think in a lot of ways, that's kind of the best endorsement you can give. It's like, I can't really make predictions because he might do things that we thought were not doable. So, and I think, just as a defender, like leave all the other stuff out. I think it's probably like he's going to be someone that is regarded as the best defensive player of his era and like maybe just ever, I try to sell it.
Bury the lead much?
I just think that's why I asked is like, I don't know how to make it relatable to someone that like has heard his name, but doesn't, and like keeps hearing the hype and doesn't really follow basketball. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like if there was like a 600-pound guy that could run a 4.40 in football, like, what do you do with him? I don't know. Nobody knows. You just kind of like enjoy it and see what's possible. I don't know what to do with it. So,